Have you ever looked at your relationship history and thought, how did I end up here? Different person, same pain, different beginning, same confusion, different promise, same disappointment. And the hardest part, sometimes deep down, we saw the signs, we felt the distance, we noticed the inconsistency, we heard the excuses, we sensed that something was not right, but still we stayed. We hoped, we explained, we waited, we prayed, we gave more, we tried harder. And maybe, if we're really honest, some of us were not just loving that person, we were trying to prove something. Trying to prove we were enough, trying to prove we could be chosen, trying to prove that this time love would not leave. So today we're asking a question that may feel uncomfortable but necessary. Why do we keep choosing what hurts us? Not because we're foolish, not because we do not know better, but because sometimes pain feels familiar, chaos feels like chemistry, and emotional unavailability can feel like a challenge to win instead of a warning to notice. So, today episode, we're going there. We're talking about relationship patterns, emotional unavailability, father influence, self-worth, and the healing we need before we choose again. Because, hey, healing is not just leaving the person or the person leaving you. Sometimes healing is finally understanding why you stayed. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Vibes with Jojolicious, the place where we have honest conversations about life, love, faith, healing, purpose, and becoming the women God has called us to be. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Today's episode is one of those topics that may feel a little tender. It may touch some places we have tried to avoid. It may bring back memories, patterns, names, moments, and decisions we have not fully processed. But I want you to know from the beginning, this is not an episode where we shame ourselves for the people we loved, the relationships we stayed in, or the red flags we explained away. No, 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 no. Today is about understanding. Because sometimes before a woman can choose differently, she first needs to understand why she chose what she chose. So today we are asking a very real question. Why do we keep choosing what hurts us? Why do we keep going back to relationships that drain us? Why do we keep choosing people who are emotionally unavailable? And why do we feel drawn to people who give us confusion instead of clarity? Another question. Why do we stay too long where we are not valued? Why do we keep hoping that someone who keeps showing us who they are will suddenly become who we need them to be? And maybe the most painful question of all, why does something that hurts us sometimes feel so familiar? Take a deep breath. Yeah. Because this episode is not just about relationships, it's about patterns, like I said. It's about self-worth, emotional availability. It's about father influence, about the stories we carry. It's about the little girl inside the grown woman who is still asking, am I lovable? Am I chosen? Am I enough? And it is about healing before we choose again. So sis, wherever you're listening from, maybe you are driving, cooking, walking, lying down, or just having a quiet moment to yourself. I want you to open your heart gently, not with judgment, but with compassion. Why? Because the version of you who chose what hurt you was not stupid. She may she may have been lonely, she may have been hopeful, she may have been wounded. She may have been tired. She may have been trying to prove something. She may also have been looking for love in the only way she knew how. But today, we are not condemning her, we're understanding her. We are understanding her, and understanding is where healing begins. Let's talk about it. So excited. Sometimes when we look back at our relationship history, we can see pattern. Yes, different men, same pain, different voice, same confusion, different phase, same emotional distance, different beginning, same ending. At first, we may say, why does this keep happening to me? But at some point, healing invites us to ask a deeper question. What am I repeatedly choosing, accepting, ignoring, or excusing? That question is not easy to ask. It takes courage because it means we must stop only looking at what they did and also look at what we tolerated. And please hear me clearly. Looking at what you tolerated does not mean you are responsible for someone else's bad behavior. If someone lied, manipulated, used, betrayed, abandoned, or disrespected you, this is on them. But healing asks us, when the signs started showing, what made me stay? That's a healing question. When peace started leaving, what made me hold on? When my spirit knew something was not right, what made me silence myself? When I was not being loved properly, what made me keep trying harder? You know, sometimes the answer is not because we love too much. Sometimes it's because we do not yet know how to choose ourselves without feeling guilty. Sometimes it's because peace feels unfamiliar and chaos feels like home. Let me say that again. Sometimes we keep choosing what hurts us because pain has become familiar and peace feels unfamiliar. And this is why some relationships can feel so intense at the beginning. You meet someone and you say, there's something about him. I feel drawn, I feel pulled, I feel butterflies, I feel the excitement. But sometimes what we call butterflies is actually anxiety in play. Sometimes what we call chemistry is our nervous system recognizing a familiar pattern. And sometimes that spark is not peace, is uncertainty, is the chase, is the hot and cold behavior, is the emotional distance, is the need to prove yourself, is the feeling that if you can just love him enough, support him enough, pray enough, wait enough, explain enough, forgive enough, then maybe he will finally see your worth. Sis, that is exhausting, and I got exhausted even saying that. Love should not require you to audition every day for basic care, bare minimum. Love should not leave you constantly asking, where do I stand? Love should not make you feel like you're too much because you desire consistency, honesty, effort, and emotional safety. And this brings me or brings us to emotional availability. Yeah, let's be honest. Many of us have found ourselves attracted to emotionally unavailable people. That person who gives just enough to keep you hoping, but not enough to make you feel secure. That person who says they care, but their actions are inconsistent. You know that person who enjoys your presence, your loyalty, your softness, they enjoy your support, but they avoid responsibility, they avoid commitment, they avoid emotional depth. That person who comes close, then pulls away. That person who wants the benefits of connection, but not the accountability of a relationship. And somehow, instead of seeing their distance as information, we see it as a challenge. You start thinking, maybe I can help him open up. No, you can't. Maybe he has been hurt before. So maybe if I'm patient, he will change. No. Maybe he just needs someone like me. And listen, compassion is beautiful. Patience is awesome. And understanding is amazing. But sis, you cannot build a healthy relationship with someone who keeps making you feel alone inside the relationship. You cannot keep pouring into someone who has no intention of becoming whole. You cannot love someone into emotional maturity if they are not willing to do their own work. A man's potential is not a safe place to build your future. Potential can inspire hope, but character gives security. Potential says he could be. Character says he is. And many times we fall in love with the could be while suffering under the reality of what is. We say things like he could be kind, he could be faithful, he could be serious, he could be a good husband, he could love me properly one day. But sis, what is he showing you now? Not the sweet moments only, not when he wants access to you, not when he senses you're pulling away and suddenly becomes attentive again. What is he showing you consistently? Underline the word consistently. Because consistency reveals capacity. And when a person keeps giving you confusion, you do not need to keep calling it love. Sometimes confusion is the answer you're looking for. Now, I want us to talk about a father's influence, and I want to handle this gently because not every woman has a father wound, or a father who teaches his daughter that she's loved, valued, protected, worthy, gives her something powerful to carry into womanhood. But for some women, the father's story is painful. Maybe he was an absent father. Maybe he was present physically but absent emotionally. Maybe he was harsh, unpredictable, distant, or critical, or he provided financially but never offered any form of affection. Maybe he was in and out, made promises and never kept them. Maybe he made his daughter feel like love, you have to earn it. And whether we realize it or not, our earliest experience of masculine love can shape what we later look for, tolerate, feel, or repeat. It is what it is. For some women, dating becomes a place where they are unconsciously trying to heal an old wound. It's a place where they are trying to finally be chosen, be seen, be protected, be loved without begging, or trying to finally hear you are enough. But here is the difficult truth. A romantic partner cannot successfully being the underlying word, be your father, your healer, your savior, your therapist, your validation, your husband, all at the same time. That is too much weight for one relationship to carry. And sometimes we're not just dating the person in front of us. We're dating an old longing. We're dating an unanswered question. We're dating a wound. We're dating the hope that this person will finally give us what someone else did not. And that is why healing is so important before choosing again. Because when we do not heal, we may choose from the wound instead of wisdom. If we do not heal, my friends, we may choose the familiar instead of the healthy. If we do not heal before we choose again, we may choose intensity instead of peace. And we may choose someone who feels like home, not realizing that home was not always safe. Let's sit on that for a moment. Sometimes he feels like home is not enough. I can tell you that for free. Because the question is, what kind of home? A safe home? A peaceful home? A stable home? Or is it a home where you had to perform to be noticed? Is it a home where you had to shrink to be loved? Is it a home where affection was inconsistent, or a home where silence meant danger? Or is it a home where you learn to read moods before expressing your needs? When you understand your story, you begin to understand your choices. And when you understand your choices, this is the real deal, you can begin to change them. Now let's talk about self-worth. Because this is This is where many of us get caught. Yes, your self-worth does not determine whether you are lovable. Please hear me. You are already lovable. You are already valuable. You are already worthy. You do not become worthy because somebody chose you or chooses you. You do not become valuable because somebody marries you. You do not become enough because someone finally sees you. You are already enough. But when your self-worth is wounded, it can affect what you accept. It can affect what you tolerate. It can affect how long you stay. When your self-worth is wounded, it can affect how quickly you blame yourself. It can also affect whether you walk away when someone shows you they cannot love you well. Wounded self-worth says, at least he calls me sometimes. At least he's not as bad as the last one. Wounded self-worth says, at least I have someone, I'm not alone. Wounded self-worth says, maybe I'm asking for too much. Wounded self-worth says, maybe I should be more patient with him. It also says things like, maybe if I lose weight, dress better, pray harder, become softer, become quieter, become more understanding, he will love me properly. Sis, no. The right love will not require you to abandon yourself to be chosen. Yes, we all grow in relationships. Yes, we all learn. Yes, we all adjust. Nobody is perfect. There's no perfect relationship. But there's a difference between growing and disappearing. There's a difference between making a compromise and abandoning yourself. There is a difference between being patient with someone and betraying yourself to keep them. And many women are not lacking love. We are not. What we are lacking is boundaries. We're not lacking beauty. What we are lacking is belief in our own worth. We're not lacking options, but we are afraid to release what is wrong because we're not sure something right will come. And that fear is real. That's a bonus. That fear is real. Especially when you're a woman of a certain age and people keep asking you all those questions they ask. When are you getting married? Are you seeing someone? What are you even waiting for? Don't be too picky. You're not young. Time is going, no. You need to step up. And because of pressure, some women start negotiating with their standards. You see, we start calling red flags minor issues. We start calling disrespect personality differences. We start calling inconsistency busy schedule. We start calling emotional neglect. Oh, he's just not expressive. We start calling pain relationship challenges. Or hey, not everything is a challenge to overcome. Some things are signs to pay attention to. Not every difficult relationship is a test from God. Sometimes it's a lesson in boundaries. Sometimes it's God showing you what you need to stop ignoring. Other times is mercy. When something does not work out, sometimes difficult relationship, rejection, and that rejection is your protection. Sometimes what you're crying over now is something your future self will say, thank you, God, for later. I know that it's not easy to hear your heart is involved. Definitely not easy to hear because when we love someone, we do not only grieve who they are. We grieve not only grieving who they are, we grieve who we hoped they would become. We grieve the future we imagined. We grieve the conversations we had in our head by ourselves. We grieve the wedding we pictured. We grieve the family we hoped for. We grieve the version of them that showed up in the beginning. And sometimes this is the hardest part. Accepting that the person who gave you beautiful moments can still be the person who is not healthy for your life. Two things can be true at the same time. Yes, they may have the good qualities and still not be good for you. They may have loved you in their own way and still not have had the capacity to love you well the way you deserve to be loved. They may not be a bad person, but still not be your person. This is maturity. This is healing. This is wisdom. Now, let me say something. What pattern do you keep repeating? Do you keep choosing emotional available people? Do you keep choosing people who need rescuing? Savior mindset. Do you keep choosing people who make you feel like you have to prove your worth or your value? Do you keep choosing people who are not ready, not healed, not honest, not consistent, not serious? Do you keep choosing people who love the benefits of you but cannot handle the responsibility of you? Do you keep choosing people who like your softness but do not protect it? Do you keep choosing people who want your loyalty but do not give you security? Take a moment, because this is where we stop blaming luck or chance and start recognizing patterns. And again, not with shame, but with honesty, because you cannot heal what you keep pretending is not there. Maybe your pattern is overgiving. You meet someone and immediately you start pouring into the person. You become counselor, you become encourager, you become prayer warrior, you become emotional support, life coach, mother, friend, and partner, all before he has even shown you he can meet you halfway. Maybe your own pattern is ignoring early signs. You saw the inconsistency. You felt the emotional distance. You noticed the disrespect. But because the good moments were so good, so good, you kept explaining the bad ones away. Maybe, just maybe, your pattern is fear of being alone. So you stay in situations that do not nourish you because starting again feels too painful. Maybe your pattern is chasing unavailable love. The person who is distant becomes more attractive because winning them feels like proof that you're worthy. Yeah, that's real. Maybe your own pattern is spiritualizing what needs confrontation. You say, I'm praying about it, but deep down, you already know the answer. Prayer is powerful, but prayer should not be used as a way to avoid truth. Sometimes God has already shown us, but we keep asking for another sign because we do not like the answer we got. And I said that with love because I know that matters of the heart, they're not simple. When your emotions are involved, even obvious things can become complicated. That is why healing, you see, healing is not just about saying, I will not choose that again. Healing is asking, why did I choose that in the first place? What was I craving for? What was I afraid of? What did I believe about myself? What did I think I had to tolerate to be loved? What did that relationship awaken in me? What did I expose? And what did it teach me? And what do I need now to heal before I choose again? Because sis, choosing again without healing can lead you back to the same lesson in a different body. It will lead you back to same spirit, different face, same pain, different name, same pattern, different package. And we don't want that. We want healing. We want wholeness. We want wisdom and discernment. We want the kind of love that does not require us to lose ourselves. So what does healing before choosing again look like? It looks like pausing. Pause. Not rushing into the next person because you're trying to forget the last one, no? Not using attention as an aesthetic. Not saying the best way to get over someone is to get under someone. No, that's not what healing before choosing again is. No, sis. Sometimes the best way to move forward is to sit with yourself long enough to hear what your heart has been trying to tell you. I'll tell you what healing looks like. Healing looks like telling yourself the truth. Jojo, I ignored the signs. Yours could be, I stayed because I was afraid. That's your truth. Yours could be, I confuse attention with love. Another person could be, I wanted potential more than reality. Your truth could be, you're trying to earn what should have been freely given. Your truth could be, you abandoned yourself. Your truth could be, you need to rebuild trust with self. This last one is very important because sometimes after heartbreak, we say things like, don't trust men. I'm not doing this man thing again. But deeper than that, we may not trust ourselves. We wonder, how did I not see it? Why did I stay? What if I chose wrong again? And part of healing is rebuilding self-trust, is learning to listen to your own spirit, learning to pay attention to your body, learning not to dismiss the discomfort you feel, learning that peace is an information, confusion is also an information. Healing is learning that consistency matters a lot. Is learning that words and actions must align. Healing is learning that you do not have to wait until you're deeply hurt before you walk away. You can leave at the first sign of repeated disrespect. You can pause when something feels off in the relationship. You can ask questions, you're entitled to it. You can observe. You can take your time. You can say, this does not work for me. You can say, I need more clarity. You have the right to ask. You can say, I'm not available for inconsistency. Yes, you can say, I wish you well, but this is not healthy for me. This is not being difficult. This is being discerning. And for my faith-filled women, discernment is not suspicion. Discernment is wisdom with spiritual sensitivity. It's not assuming everyone is bad. It's allowing God to show you what is true. The Bible says in Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart. Guarding your heart does not mean building a wall so high no one can reach you. No, that's not what it means to guard your heart. Guarding your heart means having a gate. It means not giving full access to people who have not shown character, consistency, and care. It means your heart is precious enough to be protected, and nobody will do it except you. And I want you to say this gently. Being loving does not mean being endlessly available to people who keep hurting you. Being kind does not mean being careless with yourself. Being forgiving does not mean removing all boundaries. Being a woman of faith does not mean ignoring wisdom. Love is patient and kind, but love is not a manipulation. Love is not confusion. It's not cruelty. It's not constant emotional starvation. See, love is not you begging someone to treat you with basic respect. So before you choose again, my friends, ask yourself, am I choosing from peace or panic? Am I choosing from wholeness or loneliness? Which one? Am I attracted to this person's character or am I attached to his potential? Do I feel safe being myself around him? Can I express my needs without fear? Does this person show consistency? Do they have emotional maturity? Are they emotionally intelligent? Do they honor my boundaries or do they try to break it? Do I like who I am becoming around them? Because the wrong relationship can make you anxious, insecure, suspicious, desperate, and disconnected from yourself. But the right one, the right kind of love should support your peace. It should not make you perfect because no relationship is perfect, but it should not consistently break you. What does healthy love feels like? Healthy love may feel calm. You may feel steady, honest, faithful. It may not come with drama. If you're used to drama, it may not come with it. It may not even trigger the same chase you're used to. It may not keep you guessing. And at first, peace may feel strange to you if you're used to chaos. But my sister, Peace is not boring. Peace is safe. You do not have to keep choosing emotional roller coaster to prove that love is real. You do not have to suffer deeply before you can say you love someone. You do not have to be constantly anxious and call it passion. Sometimes love is not loud. It's steady. Love is a person who does what they said they would do. That's love. Love is consistency, emotional safety, respect. Love is a calm conversation after conflict. That's love. Love is accountability. Sometimes love is someone who wants to grow, not just someone who wants to be loved by you. And until that comes, you're not incomplete. Your life is not on hold. Your worth is not delayed. You're not waiting to become valuable. You are already a whole woman. A relationship can add to your life, and it should not be the place where you go to find the identity God already gave you. So maybe today's episode is an invitation. It's an invitation to stop repeating the pattern. It's an invitation to stop calling pain love. It's an invitation to stop chasing emotionally unavailable people. Leave them alone. This is an invitation to stop making excuses for inconsistency. This is an invitation to stop letting fear choose for you. And this is an invitation to heal before choosing again. Because the next version of you deserves difference. Girl, the next version of you, she deserves peace, she deserves respect, she deserves clarity and honesty, she deserves consistency. This next version of you deserves someone whose love does not make you question your worth. But before she receives that, before your next version of you receives that, she must first believe that she's worthy of it. So let me speak to the woman listening right now who feels tired. You're tired of being strong, tired of starting over, tired of hoping, tired of healing. You're tired of wondering why love has been so painful. Sis, I see you. I know. I feel you. I've been there. And more importantly, God sees you. Your past choices do not disqualify you from a beautiful future. Your heartbreak does not mean you're broken beyond repair. Your mistakes do not mean you're foolish. Your longing for love is not weakness. It is human. I long for love, real love, soft love, tender love, mature love. But now we are bringing wisdom into this, our longing for love. We are bringing healing to the heart. We are bringing boundaries to our softness. We are bringing discernment to the desire. You can be soft and still be wise. You can be loving and still have standards. You can be hopeful and still pay attention. You can desire marriage and still refuse to settle. You can want love and still choose yourself when something is not healthy. That is growth. That is maturity. That is healing. And I want you to remember this. Healing is not just leaving the person or the person leaving you. Healing is learning, why did you stay? Healing is not becoming hard. Healing is becoming whole on yourself. Healing is not saying, I will never love again. It's a lie. You will love again. Healing is saying, next time, I will not abandon myself to be loved. I'll pay attention. Healing is saying, next time, I'll choose different. So, as we close today, I want you to reflect on these questions. You may want to write it down later, but listen. Number one, what have I been calling love that is actually familiar pain? 2, what relationship pattern am I ready to break? 3, what red flag have I been explaining away? 4, what part of me is still trying to earn love? 5, what does safe love look like for me? 6, what am I no longer available for? And finally, who am I becoming if I choose again? Because that is the real question, not just who will choose me, but who am I becoming? Am I becoming a woman who knows her worth? Am I becoming a woman who listens to her spirit? Am I becoming a woman who can walk away with tears in her eyes but peace in her heart? Am I becoming a woman who understands that love should not cost her herself? Am I becoming a woman who can say, I want love, but not at the expense of my peace? That is power. That is healing. That is growth. So today, beautiful people, I want to leave you with this. You are not hard to love. You may just have chosen people who did not have the capacity to love you well. You are not too much. You may have been asking the wrong person for the right kind of love. You are not behind. You're becoming. And before you choose again, I want you to choose healing, choose truth and peace, choose wisdom. Above all this, choose yourself. Because the woman you are becoming is no longer available for confusion disguised as love, for inconsistency dressed as a potential. She is no longer available for emotional unavailability wrapped in charm. She is no longer available for relationships that require her to abandon herself. She's choosing differently. I'm choosing differently. And that, my darlings, is beautiful. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Vibes with me, Jojolicious. If this episode spoke to you, please share it with another woman who may be trying to understand her own relationship patterns. Sometimes our honest conversation can start a healing journey. And I want you to leave with this reflection for this week. What am I no longer available for in love? Write it down, pray over it, sit with it, be honest with yourself. And remember, healing is not the end of your love story. Sometimes healing is what prepares you for the love story that will no longer require you to lose yourself. Until next time, keep healing, keep growing, keep becoming, and keep choosing the kind of love that honors the woman God created it to be. This is Jojolicious, and you have been listening to Vibes with me, Jojolicious. Bye for now.